The UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is back from COP28, as is King Charles and David Cameron. They were all there on separate planes, apparently. Well, he's managed to get the UK PM his Rwanda bill to pass its first vote in the House of Commons on Tuesday, today. Now, he's nowhere near out of trouble, though, after more than 24 Tory right-wingers abstained in the vote, including former Home Secretary Suella Braverman. Joining me now from London is GB News host, the great Patrick Christys. Can you explain for us first, Patrick, exactly what this Rwanda bill is?
Yes, absolutely. So we have boat people coming across the English Channel to the tune of about 100,000 over the last couple of years. And at the moment, our laws are so weak that we can't deport any of these people, even if really it turns out that they are criminals or deviants, etc. So the Rwanda bill is an opportunity to get them processed in a third country, a safe country, Rwanda, and then they can go and live there if they are found to be genuine asylum seekers, take the pressure off our public services. But alas, that has not worked, as you were alluding to there. The Tory rebels blinked last night. They didn't vote against this new Rwanda policy, which is not tight enough, really. So it will be held up in the courts and planes will not be taken off. And as a result, they're being called things like bottle jobs and cowards, really. And the British public are the big losers.
Well, we went through this ourselves, as you know. I mean, when we had an influx of boat people out of Indonesia, I mean, we, under John Howard, as strong as John Howard was, we decided that we would send people offshore to Nauru or to Papua New Guinea. And indeed, at one point, there was even some sort of deal going to be done with Malaysia and New Zealand. So it's been done in other places of the world. Why has the UK, under the Sunak government, found it so difficult to get people to realise that this is a smart thing to do?
Yeah, so they are flat out refusing to turn the boats back, which everybody with eyes in their head can see is the quickest and easiest way of stopping this massive drain on public resources. We're spending £8 million, British pounds, a day on hotels for these people whilst we have our own issues in this country. And the fact is, we have already sent the Rwandan government now a couple of £100 million. More is on the way. We are paying for people that we can't send to them. And it is turning into one of those kind of African phone line cons where someone calls you, fleeces you out of a load of money, and then essentially holds you to ransom. Because Rwanda is saying now, if we make this bill any tougher, i.e. so tough that it will actually lead to people being deported to Rwanda, then they will pull out of it. So we are essentially being held to ransom on human rights by an African country that had a massive civil war there not so long ago. But really, this is a fault all of our own making, and it is a problem of leadership.
Well, speaking of leadership, Labor leader Keir Starmer has demanded that they have an immediate general election if the bill fails. That's not going to happen. What's Labor's view on how to fix the illegal immigrant problem?
Yeah, well, the Labour Party always has a massive question mark over its head about whether or not they care about illegal immigration. There is clearly that trope that the Labour Party are happy to open the borders because what they see coming in are future Labour voters. And so actually they're all right doing that. The Labour Party is saying wishy-washy things like, we'll smash the human trafficking gangs. Well, all right, but how are you going to do that? Because I don't think our Labour leader is going to send in our special forces to rampage across Europe and start taking out people who are part of these human trafficking gangs. They are saying that they will pull the Rwanda bill, so we wouldn't even really have a deterrent there at all. The problem at the moment is that the Tories, the Conservative government, has just been so ineffective and so useless that the Labour Party doesn't really have to say anything. But yeah, I mean, the Labour Party is just looking at the Conservative Party now and saying, well, how could we be any worse? And, you know, the reality is they could be worse, but I suppose that would just mean the end for Britain as we know it, which is not a particularly appealing prospect.